What's good, YouTube? Nappy here, back again once again, and today we are here for the start of a brand new series here on the channel. We are digging in the decks. Now, if you've been watching our series for the past couple months, you've noticed that we've really turned up a liking to Pokédex entries. They're just so intriguing and goofy and weird and out there, and I think it's time for us to find all the weirdest and goofiest ones. So, we are going to go digging in the decks and pull up a couple entries today that are just weird, interesting, goofy, out there. I have a weird sense of humor, so whatever tickles my fancy is what we get into. If you guys are looking forward to a new series here on the channel and you'd like to show your support as a proud member of the Nappy Nation, make sure to like button down below for us because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. But now, let's get into it. First interesting one here is Charmeleon. His dex entries are what you'd pretty much expect, but it caught me off guard because it says Charmeleon mercilessly destroys its foes by using its sharp claws. If it encounters a strong foe, it turns aggressive. In this excited state, the flame at the tip of its tail flares with a bluish-white color. I ain't never seen Charmeleon with no blue tail before. But I think it's really interesting that this went all the way back to Pokemon Yellow. Tough fights could excite this Pokemon. When excited, it may blow out bluish-white flames. I have questions now. How hot is blue fire? Roughly 2,500 Celsius to 3,000 Celsius. Excuse me, yes, in Fahrenheit, please. 2,600 Fahrenheit and 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy fuck! Blue flames have more oxygen and get hotter because gas burns hotter than organic materials such as wood. Ah! What is the hottest fire color? Blue flames. The hottest part of the flame is the base. So typically this burns with a different color to the outer edges or the rest of the flame body. Blue flames are the hottest, followed by white. Okay, Charmeleon. What the fuck? Well, if Charmeleon is that much of a monster, let's check out Charizard. I love this Pokédex description. I remember it from back in the day. Spits fire that's hot enough to melt boulders. Ah! That spits fire hot enough to melt boulders? That's how you make a Pokédex description, goddammit. That's all you need to know. That's it. That's all you need to know about a Charizard. Yo, if you run into a Charizard in the wild and you whip open your Pokédex, hello, and it says, oh shit, Charizard, you need to run. It spits fire hot enough to melt boulders. In Stadium 2, they mentioned that the flame at the tip of its tail flares up in a whitish blue color. Now, see, I love Pokédex descriptions like this. At Fire Red, it says, its wings can carry this Pokemon close to an altitude of 4,600 feet. It blows out fire at very high temperatures. 4,600 feet. I love when they do that and they give you such specific measurements in their Pokédex descriptions because, of course, you know I have questions. How tall is the world's tallest building? The world's tallest building is the Burj Khalifa at 2,717 feet tall. So you're telling me that Charizard can fly almost twice as high as the world's tallest building and just be spewing flames up there? You really want to blow your mind? How tall is Mount Everest? 29,032 feet. What the fuck? Yo, Charizard can fly that high. But yo, check it out. The world's tallest building is almost 20 times smaller than Mount Everest. Can you even comprehend that? Like what? The overwhelming power that fills its entire body causes it to turn black and creates intense blue flames. I guess I must be dressed like a Mega Charizard X today. What the fuck? But wait. Read this. Its bond with its trainer is the source of its power. It boasts speed and maneuverability greater than that of a jet fighter. It boasts speed. Okay, yes, they said the word speed. I was gonna say maneuverability. How do you look up maneuverability? It boosts speed. It boasts speed and maneuverability greater than that of a jet fighter. I have questions. How fast can a jet fighter fly? Military jet fighters are capable of traveling at speeds faster than the speed of sound. This critical speed of approximately 1,225 kilometers per hour is known as Mach 1. Exceeding Mach 1 is known as going supersonic. So let's see here. How fast is Mach 1? 767 miles per hour. Yeah. Oh my god. Hey, I know for some of you guys, you may know this stuff already, but I have questions. What is the fastest jet in the world? 227 2,000, I can't even read, 2,275 miles per hour. Now, I don't know what is this. This was written in January 21st, 2023. Okay. This sounds pretty recent to me. Oh my god, 2,275 miles per hour. Okay, so now I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say, let's go back to the Pokédex description here. Greater than that of a jet fighter. Now, that's not very specific. Not a lot of Pokédex descriptions are. Well, 4,600 feet is specific, but let's just say Mega Charizard Y can fly 2,800 miles per hour. Yo, this is a weapon of mass destruction. This is not a Pokemon. This is not something that you should give to some kid to go out on an adventure with. This is enough to start and end wars. Like, what the fuck? Imagine if you had, this is like Game of Thrones. Imagine if you had like 4 or 5 trainers that all had Mega Charizard Ys. That could move that fast, that could melt shit like that from 4,600 feet in the air. Yo, you're reigning terror. That's not just a dragon. That is like some like Marvel Grand Cosmos deity being or some shit that's come down. You gotta call homeboy from 7 Deadly Sins to take care of this shit. Oh, but Charizard is not done yet. No. We have Gigantamax Charizard that says the flame inside its body burns hotter than 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. When Charizard roars, the temperature climbs even higher. So we just looked it up, and blue flames burn between 2,600 and 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So the inside of Gigantamax Charizard is even hotter, which I mean, I guess makes sense because once they come out of his mouth, they're already at 2,600 degrees or 3,000 degrees. So inside his tummy, they gotta be even hotter. But what the fuck? What are Charizards made out of? Like, that's not flesh. That's not, they're not made out of flesh and bones. That's why I said it has to be some cosmic is that why they're so rare? Is that why you only get one in a game? But then again, what about that whole valley of them? Yo, that whole valley is like an unstoppable army. Who stops an army of Charizards? Get some Mega Stones on them, and that's that. So next we got my boy Squirtle. After birth, it swells. After birth, it backs. I have to stop. I promise I can read. After birth, its back swells and hardens into a shell. Powerful foam sprays from its mouth. The shell is soft when it's born. It soon becomes resilient. Prodding fingers will bounce off it? I just picture like if you know who Abdullah the Butcher is from WCW or wherever you've seen him, if you ever see the top of his head, like that's how I feel the back of like a baby Squirtle is. Like you put your fingers in it and it's just like But you know what? I gotta give props because they do have some pretty dope definitions here. I think Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, I think 3rd gen are probably gonna have the best Pokédex descriptions. I mean, they just act like they gave a shit. I mean, look, we have one line for all of this. And then all of a sudden, we have information. Squirtle's shell is not merely used for protection. The shell's rounded shape and the grooves on its surface help minimize resistance in water, enabling this Pokemon to swim at high speeds. I like it. That tells me a lot. Its shell is not just for protection. Its round shape and the grooves on its surface minimize resistance in water, enabling Squirtle to swim at high speeds. Damn, that is scientific. That gives me information about the mon. I know this motherfucker gonna be swimming. I know he's good at swimming. Like, come on, I love it. Hey, Pokédex description. I'm gonna give it a powerful 7.1 out of 10. I like. But just like we had a great Pokédex description, now we're back to shoots water at prey while in the water. Withdraws into its shell when in danger. Turtle does turtle stuff. Turtle. But we can't be mad at Gen 7 because this is a fucking throwback to Generation 1. Shoots water at prey while in water. Withdraws into its shell when in danger. Yes, great. Now, it only gets a little bit more interesting once you evolve your Squirtle. Wartortle here, it is recognized as a symbol of longevity. If its shell has algae on it, the Wartortle is very old. Its long, furry tail is a symbol of longevity, making it quite popular among older people. You know, I've always thought that Wartortle looked like a little old man anyways, but we cut all that bullshit out once we get to Generation 4. Diamond and Pearl and Platinum just said, fuck all that shit. It is said to live 10,000 years. Its furry tail is popular as a symbol of longevity. So what's happening now? Now, am I to assume that all these Wartortles are still attached to their tails? Because, Game Freak, you went down a very dangerous well in Gen 2 where you were perfectly happy with separating Pokemon from their tails. So in the Pokemon world, instead of rabbit's feet, we have Wartortle tails? They doubled down on this shit in Gen 5 too. It is said to live 10,000 years. Did you know it's said to live 10,000 years? Its furry tail is a popular symbol of longevity. Yo, they did not give up on this either. Why? It's said to live 10,000 years. All the way up to Shining Pearl. It's been said to live 10,000 years. Why? Why would you do that? Okay, so I get it, I understand. It doesn't say, you know, unlike Charizard saying that it does fly at Mach speeds or whatever. It's said to live 10,000 years. I'm sure that this is like a, I don't want to call it an urban legend. What's the word I'm looking for here? Not a myth or something like that. But you know, like let's say you have an elephant facing your front door because it's supposed to like bring you good luck. I don't know what the word it is I'm thinking of. Bah! Long was 10,000 years ago. Hours? What the fuck? How long does 10,000 hours take? Working 80 hours a week for 48 weeks a year, the 10,000 hour mark is reached in a mere 2.6 years. So what's all the fuss about then? What's all the fuss about? You're working 80 hours a week for 48 weeks a year. That is not what I asked. What year was 10,000 years ago? 8,000 BC. 10,000 years ago, 8,000 BC, the quaternary extinction event, quaternary extinction event, which has been ongoing since the Pleistocene, concludes. Many of the Ice Age megafauna go extinct, including the Megatherium. Not till Gen 2. Woolly rhinoceros, Irish elk, cave bear, cave lion, and the last of the saber-toothed cats. What was 10,000 years ago? Roughly 10,000 years ago, Earth was experiencing a time of critical change. The planet was leaving the Ice Age near the end of a much larger pattern of warming and cooling climate events. This led to major changes in the environment people were living in. How was life in 10,000 BC? 10,000 BC marks the 10,000 BC roughly marks the beginning of human civilization. Period. Earth's temperatures had warmed and the climate had stabilized. This change in climate precedes rapid growth in ecosystems, exponential growth in the human population, and exponential growth in economic activity. All I'm hearing is Wartortle has existed since the beginning of human civilization, so how do we know Wartortle just aren't really old people? So I guess if you're a Wartortle and you get to live long enough, maybe, just maybe, you'll get to evolve, and you get to evolve into a brutal Pokemon with pressurized water jets on its shell. They're used for high-speed tackles. It's Blastoise, y'all. But, I would never in my life think to describe Blastoise as a brutal Pokemon. When I think of Blastoise, I can only think of this one dream that I had a long time ago. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why I was dreaming this, but it was one of those things where, like, the moment I woke up, the very first thing in my head was Blastoise with teeth. I don't know. It just popped into my head, and I googled it, Blastoise with teeth, and boom! Blastoise with fucking teeth appears! What? Blastoise that sits on my desk. I fucking love Blastoise. He's super fucking dope. But brutal? In Pokemon Yellow, it says, once it takes its aim at its enemy, it blasts out water with even more force than a fire hose. You know what I'm gonna say. I have questions! How much force does a fire hose have? Is this a secret? Oh. What the fuck? The usual working pressure of a fire hose can vary between 8 and 20 bar, 800 and 2000 kPa, 116 and 290 psi. While per the NFPA 1961 fire hose standard, its bursting pressure is in excess of 110 bar. I have even more questions! So, PSI is pounds per square inch. It is 1 PSI is 1 pound of force applied per square inch. So if a fire hose is 290 PSI, it's 290 pounds of force applied per 1 square inch. That's like a whole human being. I guess we're getting more and more brutal. The rocket cannons on its shell fire jets of water capable of punching holes through thick steel. Okay. I don't even know what to look up for that. I'm just gonna believe you on that one. Thick steel, okay. So here we go again, Gen 3, coming in clutch. Blastoise has water spouts that protrude from its shell. The water spouts are very accurate. They can shoot bullets of water with enough accuracy to strike empty cans from a distance of over 160 feet. I mean, 160 feet's not that far, but still, goddamn. This description is very accurate. The water spouts that protrude from its shell are highly accurate. Their bullets of water can precisely nail tin cans from a distance of over 160 feet. Yo, Emerald 100% just looked over at Ruby and Sapphire's work and was like, yo, let me copy that. And then Fire Red says, fuck everything. It crushes its foe under its heavy body to cause fainting. In a pinch, it will withdraw inside its shell. Fuck that last part. It crushes its foe under its heavy body to cause fainting. Okay, the brutality meter is going up. Holy shit. And then we get down here to Mega Blastoise. Excuse me? The cannon on its back is as powerful as a tank gun. Blastoise. Its tough legs and back enable it to withstand the recoil from firing the cannon. Okay, we get it. He doesn't skip leg day. That motherfucker is thick. But the cannon on its back is as powerful as a tank gun? How much force does a tank shell have? The MA-29A1 round weighs 46 pounds and has an overall length of 38.7 inches. The 17 pounds of JA-19 propellant creates a chamber pressure of 5,600 bars. 81,221 PSI. Didn't we just learn what the fuck PSI is? That's a lot of fucking PSI. What happens when a tank shell hits a person? The particles ignite in the air for an incendiary effect. I can tell you what happens if you get hit by a tank shell. You ever see the Deoxys movie with Rayquaza when that motherfucker peeks his head up and hits him point blank with a hyper beam. It's the exact same thing that happens to a human when they get hit by a tank shell. Okay, Blastoise, you kind of brutal. You kind of brutal. You kind of brutal. And then Gigantamax Blastoise just doesn't give a shit. Water fired from this Pokemon's central main cannon has enough power to blast a hole into a mountain. All right. Why do people even have these Pokemon? What is happening? What the fuck? Listen, if we are neighbors and I own a Gigantamax Blastoise, do not piss me off, or you will come home one day and your house will be gone. Whole thing flattened, gone, like it was never there. Apparently, Caterpie is just smelly as shit. I mean, they don't stop with this horrible stench the entire time. Terrifically strong odor. Yo, don't touch a fucking Caterpie. Don't ever touch a Caterpie. If you do, it releases stench from its red antenna to repel enemies. I never knew Caterpie was a smelly bitch. I never knew that. So, you know, Caterpie can be smelly as shit. And I really wasn't expecting much about Metapod here. You know, it's hardened its shell. You know, it's inside the shell, it's soft and weak, but the outer shell is hard as an iron slab. Yada, yada, yada. And then we get down here to Sun and Moon, and they just say, fuck the steel hard shell. Its shell is filled with its soft innards. It doesn't move much because of the risk it might carelessly spill its innards out. What? Its shell is hard, but it's still just a bug shell. I thought it was as hard as an iron slab. I just showed you 6 different places where it was as hard as an iron slab. It's been known to break. I thought it was an iron slab. What the fuck? It's been known to break, so intense battles with it should be avoided. Its shell is filled with a thick liquid. All of the cells throughout its body are being rebuilt in preparation for evolution. Its hard shell doesn't crack a bit, even if Picky Peck pecks at it. But it will tip over, spilling out its insides! So you're telling me that Metapod is just one big silly goose? It's just one big silly goose? Oh my god! Yo, make sure your Metapod doesn't tip. Butterfree, what you doing? It collects honey every day. It rubs honey onto the hairs on its legs to carry back to its nest. What? Imagine if people did that. It's some more shit that an animal or a Pokemon, I guess in this case, it's okay, okay. But imagine if we did that. You know, honey, I'm home. Let me just pull up my leg here. Hand me that spoon. Hand me that butter knife. Let me get. You want some honey in your tea? Don't worry about the leg hairs attached to it. You know, you just got a big old tub of honey at home with hairs floating around inside of it. Ooh, wee, boy! Yes! Yo, I'm looking forward to these Gigantamax Pokédex descriptions. You know, I be talking shit about you, Butterfree. You know, I get it. You do your thing. Get your meal back home. Do what you need to do. Once it has its opponents trapped in a tornado that could blow away a 10-ton truck, it finishes them off with its poisonous scales. What? How fast do wind speeds need to be to blow over a 10-ton truck? Wind speeds of 40 miles an hour or more can make driving a semi-truck very dangerous for all nearby road users. At this speed, the truck can be blown off the road or overturned. How much does a semi-truck weigh? In tons. Yes. On average, semi-trucks can weigh up to 25,000 pounds, 10.5 tons. Now, I don't know if this says 40 tons. Legal weight for an 18-wheeler. If a truck is not oversized or carrying weight beyond legally established limits, a legally operating 18-wheeler weighs in at 80,000 pounds or 40 tons. You know what they said up there? This motherfucker said 25,000. This is contrast to a typical automobile weighing 5,000 pounds on average. How much do 18-wheelers weigh? An 18-wheeler is a tractor-trailer unit. That's a fancy way of saying it's a semi-truck with a trailer attached to it. When you connect the two, you can count 18 wheels. So the weight of an 18-wheeler is about 35,000 pounds empty and can be no more than 80,000 pounds loaded. That was my next question too. What's the difference? Are these empty or are these loaded? So I guess 35,000 pounds empty and 80,000 pounds loaded. How much is 10 tons in pounds? 20,000 pounds. So Butterfree, what you doing? You ain't even blowing over an 18-wheeler? An empty one? But you know what? To give Butterfree credit, it doesn't mention a wind speed, but it does specifically say 10-ton truck, so maybe it's not talking about semis. Maybe it's talking about a medium-sized U-Haul. Gym League match is about to begin. If you have a medium-sized U-Haul truck or smaller, you need to move it now. Okay, so Kakuna just said, let's be creepy as all get out. Because it is virtually motionless, it may appear dead inside. However, a new body is being made. That's some alien shit. Like, we just been infected and now my body is just a hunk. It's a chrysalis, and then all of a sudden a new fucking, my chest rips open and out comes a new alien. That's spooky. And then 3rd gen had to go and get all super duper into it. You know how they be. Kakuna remains virtually immobile as it clings to a tree. However, on the inside, it is extremely busy as it prepares for its upcoming evolution. This is evident from how hot the shell becomes to the touch. What? I ain't never heard of no hot ass Kakunas before. They mention it again in Emerald. This is evident from how hot the shell becomes. Even all the way down here, in Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Kakuna remains virtually immobile as it clings to the tree. Oh, it's the exact same one. This is evident from how hot the shell becomes to the touch. I just never knew there was such a thing as a spicy Kakuna. Beedrill, they kind of just said whatever for. I mean, this is pretty much the extent of its Pokédex description here. Its best attack involves flying around at high speed, striking with poison needles, then flying off. That's... Alright, that's great. That's great, Beedrill. That's great. Well, it's time for us to put our bookmark in our Pokemon Index here. We're going to take a pause here. In the next episode, we'll go back to digging in the Dex and find some more crazy, wonky, goofy, off-the-wall Pokédex descriptions and whatever else piques our interest. If you guys enjoyed and you guys are excited for a new series here on the channel, and of course, if you'd like to show your support as a prime of the Nappy Nation, make sure to like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Until we see each other again, thank you so much for your love and light. And please, be safe. I'm out this bitch. Bye!